Yes, good morning, everyone. We are going to talk about menstrual cycle. That is our today's topic. In a last lecture, we discussed about oogenesis and ovarian cycle. In connectivity, another cycle in connection of these events, another cycle that is the menstrual cycle. Let's talk about it. It's the one kind of reproductive cycle in the female members of primates. You know, the primates includes humans, chimpanzees, gorillas, monkeys. In these organisms, the females experience a particular pattern of reproductive cycle, which is termed as menstrual cycle. You are also aware of the fact that there is another form of reproductive cycle which prevails in cattle and other organisms, that is called as estrus cycle. So here we're going to talk about menstrual cycle. Since the puberty, which is nearly 12 years plus or minus 1 year in case of females. So since the puberty stages, female starts experiencing this reproductive cycle, which is termed as menstrual cycle. The first menstruation itself, which starts at puberty, that's called menarche. That is termed as menarche. So menarche refers to the first menstrual cycle. Then, since this age of puberty, the reproductive cycles continue, and every month, almost 28 days in which the cycle gets completed. Obviously, the timing, the length of this cycle can fluctuate in different individuals by few days. In some individuals, it may go up to 26 days, maybe up to 27 days, like that. But by and large, in most individuals, females, this is going to last for 28 days. And this will carry on throughout the reproductive phase in the life of a female, which lasts at age of 45 plus or minus few years, which is, the period when these reproductive cycles stop, cessation of these kind of reproductive cycles, menstrual cycles in female. And that stage is called as menopause. 12 years plus or minus few years since which the first menstruation called menarche till the 45 years age plus or minus few years, and this is going to stop the menstrual cycle and internally ovarian cycle also. So basically, reproductive phase of the female will get over by this time. Obviously, in a male individual, spermatogenesis is continued even after the age of 45, 50, 60 years. So that is something which is almost a lifelong process in a male since his puberty stages. Whereas in a female, it gets over by the age of 45 years plus or minus few. Then that phase is called menopause. So there is a female menopause, there is no male menopause in a way. Now, I told you that there are two reproductive cycles which are interrelated. One is the ovarian cycle. One is the ovarian cycle that occurs in ovary, and it has been regulated by these hormones called as FSH and LH, the gonadotropins from anterior pituitary. They regulate this ovarian cycle. Parallel to this, another cycle proceeds in a uterus, which has, again, things to do with the reproduction only. And this cycle is regulated by the two ovarian hormones. known as estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen and progesterone. And this cycle is called uterine cycle. The other name of this uterine cycle is the menstrual cycle. So always remember that these two are highly interrelated, intermingled in a way. The ovarian cycle that is carried on in ovaries, and the menstrual cycle that is carried on in uterus. The ovarian cycle is regulated by the two hormones FSH and LH from anterior pituitary, whereas the menstrual cycle is affected by the two hormones estrogen and progesterone, the ovarian hormones, gonadal hormones. Remember this. While ovarian cycle proceeds, first of all, the FSH stimulates the ovarian follicles to grow, one of them to grow, and from primary to secondary to tertiary to Graafian follicle. Like that, the development proceeds. That particular development, while this follicle is growing, the growing follicle starts secreting one hormone called estrogen. Hormone called as estrogen. And later on, another structure that is formed from this follicle after the ovulation, that structure is known as corpus luteum. So it is the corpus luteum that will secrete another hormone in the ovary, and that is progesterone. These estrogen and progesterone, they have impact on the thickness of the endometrium in the case of uterine wall. And due to this impact, the thickness of the endometrium changes in a fixed pattern over 28 days. If this is the day 1, this is the 28th day. The changes in the thickness of endometrium that are being brought about over the 28 days period due to the changing concentrations of estrogen and progesterone in the bloodstream of a female. That is called as menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycle is about collection of all the changes that take place in the uterine wall endometrium thickness due to the fluctuating or changing concentrations of estrogen and progesterone in blood. That is called as menstrual cycle. It lasts for 28 days. See, in a repetitive manner, this cycle is going on in a female, and every 28 days, fixed pattern of changes take place in the thickness of endometrium, because there are changes taking place in the concentration of two female sex hormones, mainly estrogen and progesterone, in the bloodstream of that female. So parallel to this hormonal changes, there are changes in the thickness of endometrium in the wall of uterus. That cycle is termed as uterine cycle, or else you may call it as menstrual cycle. And we're going to talk about this menstrual cycle in detail. Have you understood the introduction part? Now, let me go in detail of this one. Look, as far as ovarian cycle is concerned, it has two phases. Day 1 to 13 is actually follicular phase. Day 14 is termed ovulation day. Day 15 to 28 is termed luteal phase. It's called luteal phase. So these are the three phases for ovarian cycle. Now, when we talk about menstrual cycle, day 1 to 5 is a menstrual phase. Day 6 to 14 is a proliferative phase. And day 15 to 28 is a secretory phase. Remember. अब जो ओवेरियन साइकिल का फॉलिकुलर फेज एंड ओव्यूलेशन है, उससे पैरेलल यहाँ पे मेंस्ट्रुअल साइकिल में मेंस्ट्रुअल फेज एंड प्रोलिफरेटिव फेज होता है. ओवेरियन साइकिल का 15 टू 28 डेज का जो ल्यूटियल फेज होता है, तो पैरेलली मेंस्ट्रुअल साइकिल में उस फेज को कहते हैं सिक्रेटरी फेज. नाउ आई विल एक्सप्लेन टू यू द लिंकेज बिटवीन दिस टू cycles. Overall, the menstrual cycle is been divided into three major phases, as I mentioned. Day 1 to 5 is a menstruation phase. Day 6 to 14 is a follicular phase, or it's a proliferative phase rather. And day 15 to 28, that is a secretory phase. Menstrual phase, proliferative phase, and the secretory phase. But to understand that, we must first of all understand the ovarian cycle. Let's understand that this is the day 1, and this is the day 28, and this cycle is the ovarian cycle in which oogenesis occurs. The FSH hormone from the anterior pituitary. FSH hormone from the anterior pituitary stimulates primary follicle to develop into secondary follicle, which will be further developing into tertiary follicle, and this further develops into Graafian follicle. And further, LH hormone will be responsible for rupturation of that follicle, the Graafian follicle, and release of secondary oocyte. Now, this is the ovarian cycle, and it is the follicular phase of the ovarian cycle. And on the 14th day, there is the ovulation. Now, if you understand the impact of this in the initial stages, as the follicle is not developed fully, the estrogen and progesterone levels are very low. Because of that, in the first 5 days, the first phase called menstrual phase, obviously this was second phase, proliferative phase, and this would have been third one in this menstrual cycle as the secretory phase. Phase 1, menstrual phase, day 1 to 5. Phase 2, proliferative phase, day 6 to 14. And phase 3, the secretory phase, 15 to 28. So in this, first of all, in menstrual cycle, in first phase, over the 3 to 5 days, menstruation occurs. And with this, the menstrual cycle begins. So this is the first phase of menstrual cycle. How long it lasts? It lasts for at least 3 to 5 days. Obviously, in individuals, it may vary. It may go up to 6 days, or it may remain up to 4 days or 5 days, but on an average, it is for 5 days. The one in which there is a breakdown of endometrium, the endometrium part of the uterine wall, along with its blood vessels and mucus glands and connective tissue. It gets slushed off. It has been degenerated, broken down. And along with the blood, it comes out from the first cervical canal and then through the passing through the vaginal canal. It has been discarded out of the body. The process is called menstruation. The the phase is called menstrual phase. The fluid is a menstrual fluid. It is about the degenerated, discarded, broken down tissue stuff. Along with that, a lot of blood loss is experienced over there. Over the 3 to 5 days, a female may experience a blood loss up to 45 ml to 100 ml. 45 ml to 100 ml blood may be lost in this process, in this duration. If there is no menstruation, then the condition is termed as amenorrhea. It is termed as amenorrhea. Amenorrhea refers to the condition of having no menstruation in a adult female. Adult female who is she is passing from the 12 years to 45 years age group. In that phase, in her reproductive phase, if she has no menstrual cycle going on in her body, we say it is the amenorrhea condition. Achha. This lack of menstruation can be because of several reasons. One of the reason is pregnancy. See, if female has conceived, she is carrying the fetus in her womb. So this wall of the uterus, particularly endometrial portion of it, should remain thickened to hold that embryo initially, and further to maintain the supply of nutrients, it should remain thickened over there. So while she is pregnant, the female is pregnant, there is a lack of menstruation. No more such cycle goes on because there is no ovarian cycle as well as there is no menstrual cycle in her body. This is called as gestational amenorrhea. Gestational amenorrhea. Gestation period में female में menstruation नहीं होता है, उसको कहते हैं gestational amenorrhea. अच्छा, after the delivery, gestational amenorrhea is over, but the amenorrhea continues for certain duration until the female is carrying out intense lactation. The baby is delivered and baby is to be, breastfeeding is to be carried out for the baby. So for that, again, progesterone hormone level will be very high to maintain lactation, intense lactation. Baby is fully dependent upon mother's milk. So in that period also, large amount of progesterone should be required. So progesterone level shall be kept higher in the body. Because of very high progesterone, again, the menstrual cycle stops over there. Now that amenorrhea, it is the lactational amenorrhea. It is termed as lactational amenorrhea. It is because of intense lactation. Achha, if a female reduces the breastfeeding and starts giving the baby the milk and a material from the other sources, outside sources, so gradually the progesterone level will decline and soon the menstrual cycle will start in that lady who has delivered just weeks or months ago this baby. So in her body this cycle will be resumed over there. And at times, because of certain stress condition also, it is possible that the female may skip the menstrual cycle. Certain medicines have side effects, and even a poor health of a female, severely, anemic, a blood loss can be lethal for her body. So in all this scenario, there will be no menstruation in her body. This is called as amenorrhea condition. Are you all clear with what I have gone through? The first phase in the menstrual cycle, the menstrual phase, day 1 to 5. Have you understood? Have any question on the same? If yes, ask. Okay, no one is raising the hand. That means you have no doubts. In which females the menstrual cycle is being operated as the main reproductive cycle? In the mammals, yeah, it's the primates, such as monkeys and human. Since which age or which stage of life menstrual cycles begin in the female? Puberty, 12 years plus or minus few, correct. What you call the first menstruation which starts at puberty? Anarchy, very nice. Approximately till what age this reproductive phase extends in a female? Absolutely right, 45 years. Then the cessation, the stoppage of these kind of cycles, menstrual cycles, that's called menopause. Very nice, rapid reply. Basically, menstrual cycle is interconnected with ovarian cycle. So both extend for how many days? Approximately 28 days. Obviously, ovarian cycle is carried on in ovaries, and menstrual cycle in uterus. It's the changes that are taking place in the concentration of estrogen and progesterone in the blood of the female. They have the impact on the endometrium thickness in the uterus. And cyclic changes take place in this thickness of the endometrium part of the uterus as per those hormone levels. This cycle is called as menstrual cycle, which is the first phase of menstrual cycle. Exactly, menstrual phase. From which to which day the phase goes on? Exactly, wow. Day 1 to 5. You people are giving very rapid and correct reply today. Day 1 to 5. In this period, basically, there is a breakdown of which material? Endometrial wall. The endometrium part in the uterine wall, it undergoes breakdown. Its connective tissues, its blood vessels, its mucous glands, all will be ruptured, and gradually over the 3 to 5 days will be discarded out from the vagina to outside. That is called menstrual flow. During this menstrual flow through vagina over 3 to 5 days, how much blood loss shall be experienced by the female? 45 ml to 100 ml. Correct answer. In some conditions, in spite of passing through the reproductive phase, that is 12 years to 45 years age, a female may experience lack of menstruation. That is termed as what? Exactly, it is called amenorrhea. Amenorrhea in the body, if it is there, one of the possible indication, it is the indication for what? One of the possibilities, what? Pregnancy. In the pregnancy period, there is no menstrual cycle. Which are the other two reasons possibly which may bring about amenorrhea in the body? Yes, severe stress in the body. Also, second possibility, poor health. severe anemia kind of condition, and even the medicinal side effects can be responsible for the same. We move to the next phase, and that next phase is termed as next phase in the menstrual cycle. It is referred to as the follicular phase, and uh, from the point of view of ovarian cycle, it is the follicular phase, yes. And from the point of view of menstrual cycle, it is the proliferative phase. Agree? We are being specific for the menstrual cycle, so we will use the word proliferative phase. So in a proliferative phase, which lasts from which to which days? What should I write down here? Exactly 6 to 14 days till the ovulation occurs. To understand the proliferative phase, you should understand the follicular phase. So what is the follicular phase? Have a look at this one. The FSH had stimulated FSH from anterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary secretes FSH. FSH targets primary follicle to turn from primary to secondary to tertiary to Graafian follicle. The growing follicle is a source of hormone called estrogen. So when these cycles go parallelly from the day 6 to 14, gradually you can see that the level of level of estrogen is rising. This rising level of estrogen is responsible for stimulating rebuilding of the endometrium. While ovary is experiencing its follicular phase, uterus is experiencing its proliferative phase. Because of the anterior pituitary gonadotropins, particularly FSH and LH, mainly FSH, the follicular development progresses as it is turning from primary to secondary to tertiary and Graafian. These growing follicle, maturing follicle, developing follicle releases the hormone, mainly estrogen. This estrogen is promoting the rebuilding of the endometrium. As you see, prior to this, the endometrium had been broken down in the previous phase, which was called as menstrual phase. So now it is the time to rebuild this endometrium wall. It is proliferating, endometrium regenerated through its proliferation. You know, proliferation is all about increase in the cell number. So this part getting rebuilded over here. Towards the end of the follicular phase, if you see, because of the rising level of LH and mainly the rising level of initially I said rising level of FSH, but mainly the rising level of LH, which is responsible for ovulation. Ovulation is rupturation of mature Graafian follicle to release the secondary oocyte. This occurs on a 14th day. And the hormones responsible for this are two, LH and FSH. But the main hormone responsible is LH. As you can see, there is the LH and FSH surge. Surge ka meaning hota hai sudden rise in the levels of these two hormones. So these rising LH level mainly, and obviously also the rising FSH level, just on a 14th day, they are responsible for making the Graafian follicle to rupture and release the secondary oocyte. So LH surge, the peak of LH is responsible for ovulation on a 14th day. With this, the follicular phase gets over. Have you understood? So if I ask you that the second phase of the menstrual cycle, it is termed what? Termed as proliferative phase. Correct. From day dash to dash, 6 to 24. In this period, in a female bloodstream, which hormone level will be gradually rising over there? Which ovarian hormone will be rising over there? Estrogen. And what's the source of this estrogen? Exactly. Growing follicle. And who was that person who started writing growing follicle? I think she was Krisha. So growing follicle is a perfect answer. And that is responsible for this rising level of estrogen. And under this estrogen rise, what is the impact on uh, uterine wall? What happens in the uterus wall? Endometrium rebuilding takes place. It is regenerated. Why we use regeneration? Because prior to this, over the 5 days, it is degenerated. Na? So now it is to be regenerated through proliferation, rebuilding or regeneration of endometrium through proliferation. That is the proliferative phase. Towards the end of this phase, towards the end of the follicular phase in ovary, there is a surge of which two hormones? LH and FSH. Peak, sudden rise is called surge. So there is a peak of this LH and FSH. Particularly LH is main hormone here, which is instigating rupturing of Graafian follicle. What you call that process as that's taking place on the 14th day? Yes, it's called ovulation. And now starts the third phase. In context of ovarian cycle, this phase is known as which phase? Luteal. And in context of uterus, the menstrual cycle, it is which phase? Secretory phase. It goes from which to which day? Yes, 15 to 28. So first we'll understand the luteal phase means what happens in the ovary. And then we will try to understand its impact on the secretory phase, what happens in the uterine cycle, menstrual cycle. After this, the Graafian follicle rupturation, two things are separated, of which the secondary oocyte that will be shifted towards the infundibulum, which has got those fimbriae. I hope you remember. You may have seen. Did you see that video which I sent to make you understand how the rupturation of follicle, release of secondary oocyte, and how does it proceed towards the fallopian tube with the help of fimbriae? I think you know it very well then. So it will be shifted into this from the ovary to the body fluid into the infundibulum, part of the fallopian tube, it will be brought in. Meanwhile, the leftover stuff from the Graafian follicle, which is still there in the ovary, it shall be transformed into what is called as, again, as per the impact of this LH mainly, which was responsible for ovulation and also responsible for conversion of the leftover mass of Graafian follicle into another structure known as corpus luteum, a yellowish color stuff which is called as corpus luteum. अगर काउंटिंग करेंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा on 19th और 28th डे, 14th डे पे ओव्यूलेशन हुआ. Secondary oocyte had gone into the infundibulum, oviduct. The leftover mass over the 6 days gets fully matured into what is termed as corpus luteum, the yellowish color stuff over there. So the corpus luteum formation takes place over here. Now from here on, there are, you see, two possibilities which I will explain. But before that, one more feature of this one, that the corpus luteum starts secretion of, developing corpus luteum and developed corpus luteum starts secretion of one hormone called as progesterone. This hormone is termed as progesterone. See, pre-ovulation phase, day 1 to 14, and post-ovulatory phase, day 15 to 28. Pre-ovulatory phase, it was the estrogen which was dominant. Post-ovulatory phase is the one in which progesterone is dominant. If rebuilding of endometrial wall was brought about by estrogen, to further increasing the thickness of that to the maximum, increasing the thickness of the endometrial wall to the maximum by increasing the mucus gland number. Large number of mucus glands are formed, so the endometrium is made more glandular, more secretory in nature. So progesterone makes the endometrium to increase its mucus gland number, increase its thickness furthermore. This is called as secretory phase. This is called as secretory phase. आपने देखा day 1 to 5 menstrual phase में very low level of estrogen and progesterone, so the entire endometrium got broken down. Then you saw the day 6 to 14, the proliferative phase in which increasing level of estrogen rebuilded the endometrium. But day 15 to 28, secretory phase of the menstrual cycle, the high level of progesterone, it is responsible for increasing the thickness of endometrium, furthermore make it more glandular. This is the secretory phase. This is actually necessary for the possible implantation of the embryo and the events which are related with pregnancy. So all this is done in anticipation of possible implantation. और आप देखो implantation का possible day ये होता है. आप अगर देखेंगे तो डे 21 to 25 के बीच में, 23 plus or minus few days. So इस डे पे पॉसिबली होना चाहिए था फर्टिलाइज द इम्प्लांटेशन, अगर तो यहाँ पे प्रेगनेंसी स्टार्ट होना है तो, अगर नहीं तो फिर डिफरेंट स्टोरी ऑल टुगेदर. Now this is what I was talking about, that from here I have to explain to you two different points what is going to happen further now. But before I go for those 2 points, are you clear that the ovarian cycle's luteal phase and menstrual cycles secretory phase lasts from which to which days over there? or 15 to 28 rather. Somebody wrote 16 is wrong. 15 to 28 days, isn't it? Let me know the ruptured Graafian follicle left over in the ovary shall be transformed into which stuff? Corpus luteum, yellowish color corpus luteum. And which hormone is responsible for transforming it into the corpus luteum? The leftover of the Graafian follicle to be turned in, yeah, it's the LH. You see, LH has two functions. Number one, responsible for ovulation, and number two, formation of corpus luteum over there. Remember this one. Acha, this developing corpus luteum and developed corpus luteum will be the source of which hormone? Progesterone. And this rising level of progesterone has what impact on endometrium? Yes, increment in its thickness, and it is made more glandular. More mucous glands are developed over that, so we say it's made more glandular. And what is the reason why it should be made more glandular and more thickened? What's the reason for increasing its thickness like this? This thickness will allow the embryo to be implanted. अगर possibly हुआ है fertilization तो. Now, it's a very critical point that I am explaining now, for which there are two possibilities. Number one, if fertilization occurred, and second possibility we will see if fertilization did not occur. All of you, please pay attention. This is a very crucial point. So, for example, I am explaining the first hypothetical condition that the secondary oocyte came into the infundibulum in the oviduct, and passing through the infundibulum within few hours, it reaches to the ampullary region. And meanwhile, sperms were present in that ampullary region. So maybe the female had carried on with the coitus with the male individual, has received sperms over there, and these sperms are reaching over there by this particular day over there. So they are available in this ampullary region, and there is an encounter between the sperm that has arrived and the secondary oocyte that has arrived in the ampulla, and they will carry out fertilization. So let's assume that probably the 14th is the day for fertilization in the ampullary region. Achha, this is now a zygote, and it is start transforming into an embryo, and this embryo is propelling down from the ampullary to isthmus region to the uterus. And within 8 to 10 days, 7 to 10, 8 days rather, you can say, 7 to 10 days in which it will be ready for implantation. And it will be implanted in the uterus. Now, from the cycle point of view, you have to tell me how many days will be that? On which particular day there will be a possibility of implantation? Implantation, I'm asking. 22, 23 days, isn't it? 23 plus or minus 1 day. क्यों ऐसा कहते हैं? देखो 14th डे ऑफ द साइकिल पे तो ओवम रिलीज हुआ था, सेकेंडरी oocyte रिलीज हुआ, Within a day or two, it will be fertilized, and then after 7 to 8 days, it will take to reach up to the uterus as an embryo and get implanted. So if you add this 8 to 9 days in the 14th day, it nearly comes to 23rd day plus or minus, and that is the possible day when what is likely to happen? Implantation over here. That is the reason why during the menstrual cycle, the thickness of this endometrium wall is made maximum by that particular day. अच्छा, अगर ये implant हो गया, so for that whole 9 months for which the thickness of endometrium should remain maximum. To maintain it like this, the level of progesterone should be also let remain maximum for 9 months. Even more than that, it will remain. Even for lactation, it is required. So not only for gestation, 9 months, 1 or 2 or 3 months of lactation also, for which it will remain higher, the progesterone level. So for that, the corpus luteum shall also have to remain as it is, maintaining its larger size to maintain the high level of progesterone, at least for few months, because then after the few months of pregnancy, placenta takes over that job of progesterone secretion. So let's say 3-4 months of pregnancy, corpus luteum will remain as it is, as a large structure in ovary, maintaining its size and maintaining its secretion. And later on, after a few months, the placenta will start secretion of progesterone. So ये scenario, in case if fertilization happened, zygote was formed, it developed into an embryo, and over 7 to 8 days it took to come down into uterus and get implanted. So by 23rd day approximately, when in uterus the thickness of endometrium is maximum and the embryo is ready for implantation, now till the entire pregnancy period and even for few more months when the lactation is happening, the thickness of this endometrium shall remain as it is. To maintain that thickness, progesterone level should be maintained very high as it is, 9 months. So to maintain that, the corpus luteum is maintained very high in this manner. So even LH level will remain very high so as to maintain the corpus luteum structure. Now all this for the first hypothetical condition, that is if there is a fertilization. Acha, what is the second possibility? Second possibility is that there is no fertilization. Then what? So then so then in that scenario, this corpus luteum will degenerate within few days. ये 19th day तक fully mature हो गया था. So by the 28 days, means next 10 days, it is supposed to undergo degeneration. But होता क्या है पहले? By this day, if embryo is not received, there was no sperm. So 14th day, the secondary oocyte gone into the infundibulum, further moved up to ampullary region, but there was no sperm. So it did not convert itself into zygote and subsequently in embryo. So over 7 to 8 days, it was not transformed into a mature embryo ready for implantation. So by 23rd day, there was no implantation. If there was no implantation, signal goes to the system. So system drops the LH level. That will be responsible for not maintaining this corpus luteum. So now corpus luteum gets a signal on a 23rd day that it has to degenerate. So within few days, the corpus luteum shall be degenerated now. When corpus luteum degenerates, there is a drop in level of progesterone. Can you see that? And when there is a drop in progesterone level now, already estrogen level is down, progesterone level is down. Within the 28 days, the cycle gets completed, another cycle starts, and one more time, previous cycles thickened endometrium will be degenerated in the first phase of new cycle called menstrual phase over there. ये जो डिजेनरेशन था वो कौन से एंडोमेट्रियम का डिजेनरेशन था? प्रीवियस साइकिल में जो एंडोमेट्रियम फॉर्म हुआ था, गिवन साइकिल में एंडोमेट्रियम थिकंड होता है इन एंटिसिपेशन ऑफ पॉसिबल इम्प्लांटेशन. बट अगर इम्प्लांटेशन अगर नहीं होता है तो देन आफ्टर नेक्स्ट साइकिल में उस थिकंड एंडोमेट्रियम को डीजेनरेट किया जाता है. ये प्रीवियस साइकिल का एंडोमेट्रियम इस साइकिल में डीजेनरेट हुआ, इस गिवन साइकिल का एंडोमेट्रियम नेक्स्ट साइकिल में डीजेनरेट हो जाएगा. डू यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट? These are the two possibilities I have mentioned to you. If there is no sperm, then within 23rd day there is no implantation. So then the signal goes from uterus that there is no implantation, so that FSH and LH level are down, so that particularly LH level down, so that corpus luteum starts degenerating from 23rd day. By 28th day it will be degenerated. So there is a downward level of or decreasing level of progesterone. So finally estrogen progesterone lower levels, indicator that the next cycle should begin, and in that next cycle again the menstruation occurs the way it happened in the given cycles, previous cycles beginning over there. The scar that is left behind from that degenerating corpus luteum is called as corpus albicans. What is corpus albicans? Every menstrual cycle will leave behind one scar of that degenerated corpus luteum. See, one of the primary follicle was selected to grow. It grew from primary follicle to secondary follicle to tertiary follicle to Graafian follicle, then ruptured follicle to corpus luteum. And after 23rd day, when there was realization that there is no embryo implantation, so let's wind up with the given cycle. So यहाँ पे साइकिल में जो थिकनेस था वो डिजेनरेट हो जाता है नेक्स्ट साइकिल में यूट्रस में, और यहाँ पे जो ओवरी में कॉर्पस ल्यूटियम था, it would be degenerated and will be left behind as a small scar called as corpus albicans over there. Do you get the sense of this thing? So I have mentioned to you the two different scenarios if fertilization happens or if fertilization doesn't happen. Fertilization happens and embryo implantation and pregnancy is just for few times in the reproductive phase of a female. तो लिमिटेड नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स में होता है. जैसे किसी फीमेल में एक बार प्रेगनेंसी हुआ तो वो एक बार हो गया पूरा प्रोसेस, या दो बार प्रेगनेंसी हुआ पूरी लाइफ में तो दो बार हो गया ऐसा प्रोसेस. That retaining the corpus luteum, retaining the high level of progesterone, retaining the high thickness in endometrium. But for most of the other cycles, there is second option, that degeneration of corpus luteum and leaving behind the scar, the corpus albicans, reduction in the progesterone level, and subsequently degeneration of that endometrium, so menstruation. That is what happens in this menstrual cycle. I have completed this one. If you have any question, you may ask. Okay, no questions. So that means you all have understood. That's a unbelievable thing. This is a very complicated phenomenon. I don't know how come you have understood it at one go. But as you are not raising question, I am not forcing you to ask questions even. If I ask you that in a life of a female since 12 years rather to Boliye Rudra, what is question? You raised hand, you may ask a question. Okay, you just raised hand for the just fun. That is amazing. Now, by the way, if I have any question, Rudra, Shah, if yes, then unmute and ask. If no, then let me go forward. No question. Tell me, one menstrual cycle is for how many days? 28 days. Agreed. How many menstrual cycles in a 1 year? Will someone give a correct answer? Krisha Shah is the one has given correct answer. 13. All months are of not 28 days. So in every month, you can have a 2 to 3 days extra. So that way, if you count, actually you get one more cycle. Am I right or wrong? So you get 13 cycles on an average. Obviously, if the cycles go in a regular manner with 28 days period. And approximately minimum how many years for which female will remain reproductively active? 33 years approximately, minimum, isn't it? 12 years to 45 years if we assume. किसी में 50 years भी जा सकता है, but that minimum reproductive phase period, if you consider, then it will come at least for 33 years. As a 33 years में per year अगर 13 cycles अगर run करते हैं, तो maximum how many cycles are likely to take place? 429, isn't it? I am sure you must have carried out proper counting, huh? I have not gone through the calculations. I trust you in this. Have you gone it in a correct manner? Acha. So approximately in a life of a female, how many such cycles are likely to be there? 429. अच्छा, उसमें अगर एक बार फीमेल का प्रेगनेंसी हुआ, एक बार, just hypothetically, so 9 months and at least 2 to 3 months more, so let's say 12 times per pregnancy cycles are not taking place. You understand what I'm explaining? 12 cycles may not take place in a female if she is pregnant for only one time. Okay, you guys are smart enough to understand then. उसके 9 cycles gestational amenorrhea में और 2 to 3 cycles lactational amenorrhea में नहीं होंगे. And imagine if she is having 2 pregnancies, then approximately how many will be removed from the cycle? 24. So approximately 405 cycles. That's the closest to the correct possible number. Obviously, it may not be perfect for all. So if assuming that a female got puberty from the 12 years, assuming that she had a menopause at the age of 45 years, so 33 years for which she remained reproductively active, and in that assuming that she had this 2 times pregnancy. तो वो सब कैलकुलेशन करने के बाद 405 साइकिल्स हुए. अच्छा, इस 405 साइकिल्स में कितने प्राइमरी फॉलिकल्स का डेवलपमेंट हुआ? Keep it approximately 400 cycles in a life of a female. So ये 400 cycles में कितने प्राइमरी फॉलिकल्स का डेवलपमेंट हुआ? Madam, stop the this recording.